If you guys can hear me, let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me at all. I'm just double checking everything, making sure that I'm live, it's working. Let me know that in the chat real quick. All right, yeah. I think everything here is good to go. Let me know, guys, in the chat if you guys can hear me. Don't know how this will go. I'm live streaming a lot later than I normally would. It is almost 8 p.m. for me. But I wanted to live stream, get some news out. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna just sit here and live stream what I can, talk about some stuff, ask about your guys' opinions and all that other good stuff. So let me know if you guys can hear me and everything's good. And then I'll have to see. Go Pack Go. See, we got a Packers fan. That's awesome. I'm a huge Packers fan. If you don't know, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL. There's some drama going on with the NFL, the Buccaneers. There's statements from lawyers and the player and then the team and all this other stuff. And we're going to talk about it all. I'll explain it to anybody who doesn't understand the situation going on. Dan Nixon, member for 7 months, level 3 support. Hi, hello, TJV. Hello, thanks for being a member, and thanks for continuing the membership. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much, Dan. It means a lot. But yeah, let me know. Can you guys hear me? I just want to double check. Can you guys hear me? I just want to double check. So got all the Yoshi stuff. It's been a while. I think this is my first live stream of the new year as well. Kind of a not kind of the best, like, exciting, the best decision for the first year, for the first live stream. I do plan on making live streams talking about my entire year on the channel and how it went. I just didn't want to do that for the first live stream because that would be a lot to unpack, and I'm really busy making a response video to something, so I will do that. Glad you guys can hear me. Thank you guys for letting me know. And yeah. Sorry I haven't been active. Lost my father figure in December. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Hopefully you're doing okay. But yeah. Here just to talk about some stuff. Again, like I said, it's a lot later in the night. I don't expect a ton of viewership or anything like that. But I do want to talk about a couple different things here. I might clip something from the stream and upload it as a separate video for tomorrow if I don't live stream. But I don't know. There's just a lot I got to do. Response to what? Well, you will find out. There will be a video. It has to do with some drama, some videos made about me and all this other stuff. And I just got a response to it. I'm setting up the response the best I can. I'm pulling in a ton of people for interviews to, figure out what claims are accurate and what claims aren't accurate and all this other stuff. How's the response video going since you mentioned it? It's going good. I've gotten quite a bit of people to come on and do interviews and have conversations with me and further just dive into situations that happened over a year and a half ago, and trying to remember everything, screenshotting stuff. I know that some of my staff members on my Discord staff team are coming to do some interviews and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a lot. It's taking a lot of time, and there's a lot of pressure for it. There's a lot of people waiting for it, and the cards isn't in my favor because people don't like me anymore, or they haven't liked me or whatever. But I don't really let that get to me because I know obviously what I'm guilty of and what I'm innocent of and all this other stuff. And I am looking to provide the truth. And, obviously if I did do any wrongdoings, admit to them, obviously. But by the looks of the videos and stuff like that, there's not barely anything I would sit here and admit to. It would just be some basic stuff, situations, different sides of the story, different understandings, different points of view on situations. And that's what a lot of the claims is that a lot of these people had bad experiences. But from other people's perspective, we never knew they had bad experiences, and we never knew that they were upset. We never knew any of this because they just didn't tell us that. And when they were trying to tell us, they left the server and all this other stuff. It's a lot of drama. But again, like I said, it's going to be a response video that I'm going to take my time on. I'm going to work on really hard. I'm going to get as many sides of the story as I can involved. I've tried reaching out to the person who created the video Velocity to talk to him about it and to settle things and to just have a productive conversation. Velocity denied wanting to speak to me and wanted me to get all sides and for him to even ask me questions about my side of things. It sounds like someone is sick in the background. Sick. Are they okay? Yeah. Hannah, are you okay?
Yeah, I just choked on my chip.
Yeah, she choked on some food, so she good. Thanks for checking in, Jessica. That means a lot. But like I said, there's just a lot of things, and I'm working hard on it. And I want to make sure when I upload the video, it doesn't look like I half-assed it, or I expect forgiveness, or I expect apologies, or anything like that. I do know the video is going to debunk a lot of the things in those videos, and it's going to make them seem like they really tried to almost attack me, but I don't like using that word because if they want to speak on their own experiences, they have every right to. But I would have every right to be able to respond back to that and to be able to sit here and do it. I wasn't planning on talking about this response, but there's people in the chat that want to ask questions, and I'm fine with it. Queen Lee goes Hannah with a bunch of hearts.
Hi, Queen Lee.
She said hi, Queen Lee, if you didn't hear that. You actually believe AB? The man's a clown that has lied many times before. Why should we believe him this time? There is a lot to talk about, and I'm not saying I believe him and stuff like that. It's just there is statements out from him, so obviously I got to title the thumbnail and all this other stuff, but if you want to judge by the thumbnail and title, fine. I'm just going to warn you on YouTube, don't read a book by its cover. I'm going to talk about all of that, and we're going to have a conversation about it, get other people's opinions on that. Hi, Trevor. Tell Hannah she sus for me. You're sus, apparently. She's putting up a heart.
I can't do it.
But yeah, that's that.
Is that Dakota?
Yeah, Dakota. But yeah. Can someone explain to me these allegations? This is news to me. Should we be worried? If you're talking about the allegations against me, a lot of you can go type in Velocity HD. There's about a 50-minute video, and I'm going to mention that in my response video to have anybody go back and rewatch the video if they would like to. I want everyone to be able to digest all the information you can and form your own opinion. But like I said, my video will be shorter than 50 minutes, obviously. I want people to be able to watch a quick video to be able to understand. I'm not going to cut out anything that they say that's super important, but if they're repeating a lot of the same things, I'm not going to include every single variation of the same statement. I'll just say, okay, this is what they're accusing me of. And the basic things are, again, the video that it's talking about, there's I think in the description there's timestamps for it, but from what I can see, it's kind of scattered everywhere because within those there's a bunch of different claims. So like you hear from the ex-staff member saying, oh, well, he didn't pay any of his artists, or he doesn't pay the people who collaborate and work with him and stuff like that. He doesn't pay the Discord staff. He's flirted with this girl, and he's done this, and he's done that. And again, there's an explanation for all of that. It's just I want to put it all in one video. So like when you have more questions about, oh, well, they also said this in the video, well, it's all going to be in the response video. And I got pages of notes right here. I'm starting to interview people for everybody's side. So you're not just hearing from me, but you're hearing from all parties involved. And even some of the people that are in that video that's talking bad about me, they're coming to have a conversation and interviews with me and all this other stuff. So again, like I said, I'm going to get all sides. I want to be able to clear up any situations that might be confusing or it might not seem like behavior that I normally would do. And like I said before, if it seems confusing or it seems, confusing, like, why would TJV do it? It's probably because I didn't do it and there's a different viewpoint that's completely taken out of context, and it's probably a different reason why anything's happened or whatever. But like I said, I'm going to talk about all of that. So why is it okay to dox an ex-staff member, though? Again, like I said, I'm not trying to get into everything cynical right here, right now, because what would be the point of the response video if I'm going to answer all the questions now? There was a reason why everything was said, and I'm going to be able to sit here and explain that. You're just going to have to wait for the video. I am working hard on it, though, and I want to be able to take my time and make a good video. So, you dox someone? See what I mean? So, like, now that it's mentioned, do I need to sit here and, like, clarify and clear up that statement and do all of that? I never sat here and revealed a full location of anybody. I sat here and I said a first name, and then the state they live in, and that they're married to this other guy who was on the Discord that went by Kyle. I said that, and that's a dox. Again, was there a reason why I said it? Yes. It's just all going to be in the response video, like I said. But that's all I said. And I didn't, have any malicious intent. It's just in the moment I said information to have people caught up. And I thought that information was valid to be able to give at the time. And it happened a long time ago. And it's something that I'll explain and talk about in the response video more in depth. So like I said, it's going to come. It's just right now, I'm not going to talk about it. It's just I will update you guys that the response video is coming, and if I do make more live streams between now and the response video, I'll try to update you guys with more information. But right now, it's going good. Still working really hard on it, and that's what I'm doing. If you want more information, feel free to check out Velocity HD's video. He has more information, I guess, there. But just to let you know, there's a lot of information that's false, taken out of context, things that just simply aren't true, and all this other stuff. And again, I will put out my video, and you guys can decide if you guys want to believe that, or this, or in the middle, or form a brand new, your own opinion, and you can do that. So, yeah. Alright. Catch up on chat. Do people know what doxing actually is? I guess there's sort of a wide spectrum on doxing, different levels of doxing, or maybe there's not. Maybe it's just one fine, like, don't ever say this or that. I mean, oh well. I've had people say information about me. I've had someone in the Discord go on Google Maps and find where I was living with my parents at the time and put that as their profile picture. And that was technically a dox, but at the same time, nobody would have known that specific house would have been my parents because they never classified. So is it a dox or is it not? Would anyone ever find that out? I don't know. Like, again, like it is, there is a wide spectrum on it. And I guess I think the whole doxing thing, I would have to look up more of a definition and more of what people have done more research on the matter, on like how doxing has been on the internet. It is something interesting, and I guess it all comes down to intent as well. Like, if you didn't mean it, you could always issue an apology and do that. But if something did go wrong, and like I said, it's all going to happen in a video when that time comes. For now, just take it that it's a mistake done, that it should not have been done, and there's some not nice things going on there. Well, like I said, and I also chilled saying, just say it was wrong, and I'm sorry for doing that, TJ. Well, like I said before, I'm not going to sit here and make this the video where I discuss that. That's all going to be in the response video. But like I said, if I'm going to be pestered with questions and people are just going to linger and have that thought while they're watching the video, I'll quickly give you a response, tell you go watch Velocity's video, go watch Chill Venoms, go watch Zombie Fox's, go watch Sen's video on it. There's other videos you can go watch about it. And I'm not trying to hide their videos or take away from their videos. It's just my response video will be the response to that. It's going to be my rebuttal. It's going to be my do that and move on, and that's all it's going to be. And again, I'm not trying to bring it up. It's just that's kind of what the conversation came in to be on this whole thing. And like I said, I have other things I would rather talk about right now, which is the whole thing of the live stream. I'm just catching up with the chat, and I'm going to be respectful. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. But like I said, anything that's going to be said specifically about those situations, besides context, which I don't mind explaining here now, any response to that is just going to be in the response video. Like I said, if you're going to be upset that I'm choosing to carefully say my words and I'm not apologizing, or if I'm not explaining, or if I'm not doing this or that right here on the spot, well, sorry that you're very impatient, and you would prefer me to be premature about it, but I'm not going to go about that way, and I'm just going to handle it the best way I see fit. And if you have a problem with it, you're welcome to criticize me all you want. But like I said, I'm going to take my time to make sure I do it right. So, yeah. Cynical says, you can't take away my freedom of speech, so I can tell anyone, I can call anyone a bitch because it's freedom of speech. Okay, yeah, but it's also, we also have the right to sit here and ban you from the chat if you don't want to act appropriate, and if you're going to be cursing up a storm in the chat. So, Cynical, I'm just going to give you a warning. Just chill out, dude. It's fine. We can all be polite and respectful to each other. And that's one thing I've noticed, too. Since all this crap's come out, and since a lot of people has decided to flip from one side to another, people believe that it's the best way to go about it is insults and being hostile towards the other person and yelling and screaming and going that route. And I've certainly sat here, and I'm not saying I'm a saint and I haven't done that either. I mean, I've had my fair share of insulting people online and yelling and screaming and doing that. But like I said previously to other people, is that I kind of want to sit here and avoid doing that in the future going forward, and I kind of don't want my community just to be built around all of that. So there's going to be a lot of updates and stuff like that, and I'm going to be able to sit here and just have more of a respectful zone where, like, if you're going to be swearing and all you're doing here is going to be sitting here trying to pester me or somebody else about a situation or anything like that, but we've already addressed that we will talk about it or it will be answered, or no, like, people just don't want to speak about it and you're still going to pester them about it, we're just going to remove more and more people from the chat. And, you know, my staff knows that, you know, we're just going to try to go about this the best way we possibly can. And it's not like we're trying to hide from it. If you want to be productive and bring up something, we will. But if, like, the answer is, hey, I'll talk about it more later, then just wait. And that's all you got to do is wait. And I don't think it's too difficult to do that. I mean, yes, it might bother you that you have to wait a certain amount of time, but it is coming, and I'm fine giving updates and stuff like that and doing all that stuff. So just keep that in mind going forward. Love how I just see the stream, so I click on it, and about a minute later, I got a notification for saying there's stream. Yeah, YouTube's been always weird, so yeah. Really, TJV, I believe in you, bro. Well, I appreciate that, if you're being serious. I appreciate that. All right. Regardless, I want to be able to get into more of what's going on and stuff like that. There is some good videos online of, first, I just want to, well, let's actually look at the police video first, because I feel like that's going to be a little more exciting, and you guys are probably like that. That'll be kind of cool. But one of the things in there is crazy but nice police video and stuff like that, footage, and Bud Light vape. Cryos, is that you? It's a little weird. I've always had weird comparisons to Cryos ever since I started vaping. I'm like, is he the only vapor on YouTube that's like the big vapor on YouTube? I'm sure there's other vapors or other YouTubers that vape and stuff like that, but like, he's the only one. I know there was another YouTuber that I used to watch. He has had a vape too. I've seen him in his streams vape before. But is Cryos the biggest one? I've always wondered that. Is he like the... Maybe it's because my audience is more familiar with the Vanos crew, and he vapes, and you know, it could be that. But like, I always got comparisons to him because he vapes, and I'm like, okay, anybody who vapes, are they Cryos or what? So I always wondered about that. So yeah. Yes, Antonio Brown case. I know this one. Yeah, it'll be interesting to talk about. This whole Antonio Brown is so convoluted. Antonio Brown complained at halftime that he wasn't getting enough targets, and that he's being forced to play with an injury even though he left jumping and jogging. Yeah, and again, I'm going to talk about all of that, what I think of the situation, and I just want to warn anybody going forward, if you know about the situation and you already have like some very strong opinions about it one way or the other, just understand if my opinions are different of it or whatever, it's simply because of the information that is being provided right now and my knowledge that I know of. Now, I don't follow every single NFL player. I'm not like super big in the NFL, but I do love my Packers, and I do try to follow up on some of the biggest information that I can. There's some great YouTubers out there, such as like Microphone and other people like that, and I'll be skimming through his video to try to bring up some certain points that he was trying to bring up to reference them. there is um some points I want to bring up, and from the information I know, I felt like it would be interesting to share, and make sure that you guys do it. You're a Packers fan? Yes, I'm a huge Packers fan. I've been a Packers fan for a long time. My dad always followed Brett Favre when he was part of the Packers, and my dad continued to watch Brett Favre after he went to the Jets and the Vikings, which was completely fucked up then for Packers fans, but he still always liked the Packers, and I liked watching Brett Favre when I was younger, but when I saw Aaron Rodgers go to the Super Bowl when I was about 10 years old, was pretty crazy, and that's kind of how I fell in love with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. So I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers doesn't leave the Packers, but it sounded like he might. If he wants to have more control over an offense, he might leave for a team that will let him do it if the Packers won't. But it seems like the Packers are working with Aaron Rodgers, and I've been following up on the information as much as I can. But it seems like he's doing good this year. Green Bay Packers are the number one team in the NFL right now. Most wins compared to losses and stuff. And I think this is the year they might go to the Super Bowl. Let's hope we don't fuck up in the playoffs like we do all the other years. But I'm a huge cheesehead, I guess. But like I said, I like a lot of teams, though. There are some teams I just do not like at all. But there are teams that I like. And in my own division of the Packers, I'm starting to grow on the Lions. I mean, they lose all the time, but they manage to beat like the Arizona Cardinals and stuff like that, which I always like that. I like those teams who are notorious bad all season, but sometimes they'll come through to beat some of the best teams in the league for that season and stuff like that. So it's always fun. I like to have fun when I watch, but I'm also kind of competitive watching it as well. So yeah, if you don't like the Packers, that's fine. It's just I'm a Packers guy, and I live pretty close to where the Packers stadium is and everything else like that. And my state of Iowa doesn't have an NFL team really, so there's kind of in Iowa there's a mixed bag. Like some people like the Chiefs, some people like the Bears, some people like the Vikings, some people I don't know anybody in Iowa who likes the Lions, but then some people like the Packers and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. And we there's some people in Iowa who love like the Dolphins, and some people in Iowa who love the Buccaneers and the Patriots. I mean Iowa's a mixed bag of NFL fans. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. Regardless, though, before we get into the Antonio Brown and all that situation, which we will talk about here soon, I wanted to first bring up this police video, which was very interesting. It's uploaded by Code Blue Cam, and it says, when you pull over but you realize you have a warrant for your arrest. I wanted to share this video because I've never, ever seen this in my life. Now, this might be common, and I just never seen it. But what the internet is filled of is a lot of videos about police officers, and a lot of those videos like to depict officers being the bad guy. And there are cases where they break the rules, break the laws, and do things they're not supposed to. And I get that. But I've never came across so nice of police officers and officers who handled a situation so well. So I want to share this with you and then just ask you guys in the chat, do you guys think that they handled it well? And what was the weirdest thing about this video? Because this is quite weird and I just wanted to show this. So hopefully the audio is working and everything. Let me know if I need to turn it up or down and I'll go there. I don't know if you guys can even hear that. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can change this. There we go. Now you guys should be able to hear it. Hopefully that isn't loud or anything. I'll have to turn it down. So I'm not going to show this entire video. This entire video is 18 minutes long. I'm not going to show this entire video. But he pretty much sits here and turns around and he's going after this car right here. This Blazer, this truck, whatever it is. And he must have like scanned the plates or something like that, or noticed the person was speeding or whatever. For whatever reason, was initiating the traffic stop. That ain't really important because you'll see there's little to no traffic stop. It's a little loud. I can turn it down if you guys need me to turn it down. But there's little to no traffic stop when he pulls up to him. So right here, pulls up to the person, and the guy drives away as the cop is walking up to the vehicle. So the cop, calls in real quick. He's taking off on me and stuff like that. He ends up trying to follow him, but then he ends up pulling back because they ended up having the vehicle's like registration and everything like that on file. So they're just gonna go to the I think they just ended up going to the house of the vehicle owner and all the other stuff. So they ended up going to this woman's house, which this woman says some pretty hilarious stuff real quick. She kind of throws her daughter under the bus, and I'm here to show that real quick.
Daughter?
Yeah.
So right here.
Carrie, Deputy Kirkin with the Sheriff's Department. You own a Tahoe, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, who's driving your Tahoe right now?
My daughter is?
Your daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you positive about that?
Yeah.
When did your daughter leave?
I don't know, maybe an hour or so ago she went to the zoo.
Okay.
So she sat here and said about an hour ago my daughter left for the zoo in the Tahoe that was driven real quick. The story ends up changing, and it wasn't the daughter in the vehicle, and I'll just show you guys this here.
So,
I don't remember how long ago it was, but she was at the zoo.
okay. Do you know who she was with at the zoo?
Mason,
Who's Mason?
her boyfriend.
Okay. So your Tahoe took off from me on a traffic stop
Oh no.
about probably 30, 45 minutes ago. Looked like there was a male driving. Okay. Do you know what Tasha's middle initial is?
Actually, the person that should have my Tahoe right now is my boyfriend.
So if you guys didn't hear that, she sat here and switched from, writing down Mason's name, the daughter, and the boyfriend, and saying, okay, they were the ones who had the vehicle, so it has to be one of them, to, actually, the person who might be having my vehicle right now is my boyfriend, which is who actually had the vehicle. So, what ended up happening is they pretty much threw the daughter, like she pretty much, almost threw the daughter, under the bus, said that she had the vehicle to protect the boyfriend, and she talks about it a lot more, being like, oh, I should have said that. Now, could have this been a mistake? And obviously, oh yeah, there could have been, I actually thought my daughter had it for a second. She does explain that the boyfriend does constantly just take the vehicle and stuff like that. Like I said, if you want to search this video up and watch it for yourself, the name right here, when you pull over but you realize you have a warrant out for your arrest. So yeah.
Why'd you tell me it wasn't him?
Well, she had it first, but
Okay. What's your boyfriend's name?
Mark Baker.
So Mike
B-A-K-E-R?
Baker,
Did Mark leave here with
or
your
Mark
Tahoe?
Baker.
Yes.
When?
About an hour ago or two.
So it was the daughter taking the vehicle an hour ago. Now it's the boyfriend, her boyfriend, taking the vehicle an hour ago. Not the daughter and the daughter's boyfriend. So it's kind of switched.
Where was he going?
I don't know.
You want to call Mark?
So she attempts
So
she
he was gonna
attempts
go
to call Mark. He does not answer.
himself in?
Yeah,
For what?
for a warrant that he has.
And she claims that he was going to turn. The boyfriend took the vehicle to go turn himself in because there was a warrant out for the arrest because he ain't showing up to court or whatever the reasoning is.
I thought that's where he was going.
Okay. And you said you think he left about an hour ago?
Yeah, an hour ago or so.
Okay. If Mark comes back, if Mark calls you, let him know that he needs to get in touch with us.
Yeah.
If he comes back, give us a call. We'd love
So
to
what
talk to him.
happened? He took off on a.
Yeah, I pulled him over. He stopped, and then as I approached the vehicle, he took off from the traffic stop in your Tahoe. So I would strongly recommend not allowing him to drive your vehicle anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
Just a suggestion. But if you hear from him, obviously let him know to get in touch with us.
Yeah.
You said he was going
Well,
to
like
turn
I said, I
himself
tried
in on
calling
the.
him a couple
Yeah.
times, and
You said he was going to turn himself in on the warrant, so obviously he knows he has that.
yeah.
So, but he's now looking at additional stuff. So,
So now the boyfriend's in even more trouble because he had a warrant out for his arrest, but now there was a traffic stop, and he took off on the traffic stop, just fucking blazing. Oh, and they didn't do a pursuit, so nobody got harmed or anything, which is always a good thing, Yeah, so now we're gonna find out how they found him, what he was doing, and what happens after the fact, which is like the crazy part I'm talking about. It comes towards the end of the video, but it's just so crazy because I wouldn't expect police officers to do this, and it's kind of interesting, and it's very polite. And I'll ask you guys like your guys' opinions on it too, because I'm curious on what you guys think of this. So the Tahoe was eventually found. It was at this person's house, and this person was the boyfriend's father. The dad, it was that house, I believe. And they found him in the vehicle. They saw somebody moving in the vehicle, so they assume it's Mark, and they point their guns, and they're yelling at him to get out.
Subject inside the vehicle of Tom Charles 2682, Tom Charles 2682.
And so they're sitting here. They're like, okay, like we need to get him out of the vehicle. They're pointing guns at it. They don't know if he has any weapons or not. They handle it. They try yelling at him, but he just seems to ignore it and all this other stuff and all that. So he goes, grabs his rifle. Here's another officer who's running up on the scene.
Hey, Mark!
Trying to get his attention.
It's Corey!
You want to use your squad block on the west, and then...
And again, when they're shouting, they're yelling, they're being very polite. They're just yelling to try to get him to hear. All the doors are closed. I think all the windows are rolled up as well, so they just can't. Then this officer actually gets on the phone with the house owner. You can see the phone right up here. He ends up getting on the phone with the house owner. He, finds out, hey, okay, that's the father. Do you see him in the vehicle? The guy peeks out of his window and says, yes, I saw him in the vehicle. And then he explains that he was over at the house because the father's son, who has the warrant out for his arrest and took off on the traffic stop, his friend is there, but he's sleeping. So the officers say, let him sleep, don't get him involved, just make sure your doors are locked so he doesn't try coming in the house. And so the father locks all the doors, and the father has to go through all of it, and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, there's that. Thank you, Tank Eyes, by the way, it means a lot. Yeah, so let's continue to see what the officers end up doing once he gets out of the vehicle and everything. And it becomes super dark, and they were sitting here trying to negotiate to get him out of the vehicle so they can approach him safely and arrest him and everything. Mark opened the rear passenger door of the Tahoe, where he then puts his legs just outside of the vehicle. He remains seated inside smoking a cigarette. And smoking the cigarette becomes an important part here soon. Oh, I'll show you it right here. My bad, guys. Mark stated he simply wanted to smoke and that he had to urinate. So he had to piss. So they told him to piss. So he continues to have himself a piss.
Mark, you're going to have to come out.
And the cop yells, all right, then pee, but when you're done, start walking back and we'll allow you to have a smoke. So, after he's done, he's backing up with his hands behind his back.
Just cooperate, okay?
They arrest him, and they actually follow through on what they said. They allow him to have a smoke while he's in cuffs, which again, like I said, this might not be that crazy. Maybe you've seen this. Maybe there's officers that will allow that. But I've never seen ever in my life, and I've watched a ton of police videos before. I used to watch Donut Operator. I've never seen an officer, after someone's already handcuffed, allow them to have a smoke. After they said, yes, we will allow you. You just need to come to us so we can properly detain you and be safe about the situation. And they allowed him to have a smoke. And you can see the officers go out of his way to go back to the vehicle, grab a cigarette, and allow him to smoke. Oh, you're a Donut Operator fan. Me, fan too. Yeah, I am. I enjoy his content. Even to this day. I haven't watched as much recently, but yeah.
Okay.
You guys got vehicle?
All right. We got to clear that vehicle.
Yep.
Anyone else in there?
All right, hold on. We'll grab a shield and clear.
So they move Mark over, so he's out of the way. They approach the vehicle. They search the vehicle and all. I don't think there was anything illegal in the vehicle or anything. Like I said, the reason why he ran from the traffic stop earlier in the day was simply because he had a warrant out for his arrest, probably, which was dumb to do. He's going to get in trouble for that. But there was nothing illegal in the vehicle, and he probably was drinking and made some poor decisions.
I'll fix these cuffs for you, okay, bud?
They even fixed the cuffs, and he wasn't complaining about the cuffs. They even fixed the cuffs to make sure that they were nice and comfortable and stuff like that on him.
Yep.
Very polite police officers. I don't know, actually it says right down here in Wisconsin. Actually, it's in Wisconsin, Richfield, Wisconsin, right here. These are some very nice police officers, and you'll see they fulfill on their promise and allow them to have a smoke.
Fix them, okay? We got it.
Hurting nobody. I was coming here on.
Okay.
Smoke a cigarette before.
Yes, Mark. I told you I wasn't gonna lead you astray. Okay, where's your cigarettes?
They won't be down in the pocket. I don't know. I don't
No.
have that now.
So they're trying to search the cigarettes
No.
on him, see if
Get
they
up
can find
here.
the cigarettes.
All right, you're good, okay, Mark? Your cigarettes are not on your person. You got lighters on your person, or your cigarettes in your truck.
They might be.
Okay. Someone want to grab hold of Mark here? I'm gonna go grab him a cigarette.
You got it.
So they have like 8 or 9 police officers there. They're like, okay, we got the guy. We can just proceed with our time and like ask him the questions and do it. And the officer's like, no, hold him. I'm gonna fulfill on what I told him I would do. I'm gonna go grab his cigarettes for him and give him a cigarette so he can smoke a cigarette and talk to us. And again, I just never seen something like that before.
How you doing, man? Like 4 years, probably. Yeah, at least. Look, forgot about. Well,
So the officer comes back, pulls out a cigarette,
okay. Well,
puts it in his
take
mouth
care
for
of
him.
it. Best thing to do. It's hard to do, but the best thing to do, right?
And I'm gonna make this full screen real quick so we can see. He even lights the cigarette for him while it's in his mouth.
Right.
And he continues to talk with the cigarette in his mouth.
Shit
And
takes care of it.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I'd rather be with my family.
Oh, exactly. Who wouldn't?
then lights the cigarette for him. It's like, there you go, buddy. And unfortunately, that's all we see. We don't see him have more, like, we don't see all the conversations they have. We don't see him, like, smoke the cigarette all the way, which would be kind of funny if to watch that. But, again, like I said, I've just never in my life of watching police interactions and, you know, being pulled over before and having traffic stops and stuff like that, I've never met so nice of officers that would do that. And again, their job is to calm down, de-escalate situations by all means, and they did it very well. And they, you know, made at least the guy happy. I bet he at least appreciates that they were very cooperative and stuff like that. And so I'm not speaking on all police situations, and I'm not speaking on behalf of all police officers or anything like that, but the way they handled the situation was very good. So what do you guys think, real quick? I want to hear you guys in the live chat. Just anybody who's watching, like, what's your opinion on this? Do you think that the officers needed to do it? Do you think that that was the best decision? Do you think that they shouldn't encourage smoking? So, like, the fact that they gave him a cigarette and did that, or do you think it was a good idea, bad idea? Do you think they handled it well? Let me know what you guys think of all that. But yeah, it's just really, really interesting that the police officers did that. And then the end of the video, they kind of talk about he might be intoxicated or whatever like that and all the other stuff. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys think. GTA 5 RP funny moments. It almost seems like I did not believe it, but like the most like the title and the thumbnail and all this, it's supposed to be advertised, okay, he's running because, you know, he has a warrant out for his arrest. And I was like, okay, so this is going to be a bad video. It's going to be police chase and all this other stuff. But it's not. It's actually a complete one, and that just fascinated me. And I was like, you know, I want to show that during a live stream. So I think I found that video a couple days ago, and I was like, that would be interesting to show, because like I don't ever see stuff like that. Like, that's because again, a lot what I see is I see a lot of police officers doing something they're not supposed to, or tragic things that end up happening in police shootings and all this other stuff. But it is interesting, I think, nonetheless. I will admit they handled the situation was better than some police departments out there. They definitely handled it very well. I think so. I think they did. I think it was very well handled. And honestly, I would give an A+ to these police officers for handling the situation. They were all super nice. They all worked together pretty well. They contacted all parties involved. Every homeowner, every home they stopped at, the Tahoe that was registered to the girlfriend, and they treated him very, very nice. They didn't pester him. They didn't use excessive force or anything like that. So again, I think this was a really good video, and I think it would be interesting if more people like Donut Operator. I don't know if he's ever viewed this, but it would be kind of cool to see him like. What do you think? Like because Donut Operator used to be a police officer, or he's an ex-police officer. I wonder if he would ever allow this. I just want to ask more police officers, being like, hey, to de-escalate a situation, if someone in cuffs asks for a cigarette, you know, and you said you'd give it to them once they comply and everything, would you fulfill on that and give them a cigarette and light it for them and everything? I don't know if all police officers would say yeah. You know what I mean? Or I don't think all police officers would do that. So I just thought this was interesting. I don't see that often. So like I said, just wanted to show that. If you find that interesting, then watch Polecat 324 DOG episode 1 through 500. You will love it. All right, I'll have to check that out. I'm not a police officer, but I'm from Leo family, so I know some. It's great police work. Well, that's good to hear. Can I get arrested by them and ask for a Five Guys dinner? See, that's what's interesting is like police officers have like certain obligations to meet, but it's like those police officers that go kind of above and beyond with their job and do more. So like I saw another video where a police officer caught this lady shoplifting, and she was just shoplifting for hats and gloves because it was cold. And so she got a trespassing and ban. She can no longer go within this Walgreens, I think it was. But the police officer says, let me buy you the hats and gloves, but don't ever do this again. So he gives the hats and gloves so she can be warm, and she's homeless, and does it. And I think more stuff like that is really, really cool to share around. I would be interested in sharing, the darker side of some police departments and stuff like that. And I don't just want to like glamorized on how nice police officers can be without admitting the other side. I know there's a good and bad side to, virtually anything. There's a good and bad side, but I think it is kind of sweet, and it's kind of nice to see that and be like, wow, that's really, really nice. So yeah. It depends on if the subject is cooperative, or if they're trying to get the person cooperative. Like in this case, he was in that vehicle for a long time. They were screaming at and yelling at him to get out. Some of those police officers were probably tired of standing around and pointing their guns for over an hour. So like, he wasn't really cooperative getting out of the vehicle, but like, as soon as they, he started talking to them, and they said, we'll let you urinate so you can urinate real quick, and then we'll allow you to have a cigarette. I mean, and they fulfilled on that, and that was kind of cool. Detectives commonly do this. They get suspects food, and in the case, a smoke, because it makes suspect more calm, so they may cooperate more. Yeah, and I think that might be what it is, dude. That is normal for small town cops in Missouri. Oh, that's interesting. Don't Operator made an entire video on being respectful towards subjects involved in an investigation. I'll have to look into that, because again, a lot of the Don't Operator videos that are recommended to me are always like shooting breakdowns and stuff like that, which, again, every once in a while, it could be interesting to be able to go and watch. Donut Operator has made an entire brand centering around police cams and talking about police officers and the work police officers do and stuff like that. I'll have to look into some of the better videos. But again, most of the videos that are recommended, the more popular ones, are sometimes the most tragic type of stuff that's happened, and it kind of sucks that that's like what's most viewed. But I always find it more entertaining to watch cops kind of go out of their way to be more nice than what they need to be, and it's kind of just makes you feel good that there are good police officers out there seeing these videos. FYI, Polecat is a former police officer. Make it so much more realistic. Okay, I'll stop now. I'll have to check that out. Hey TJV, Happy New Year, fam. Thank you very much, Mark. It means a lot. The Leo breakdowns are really good. Yes, they are. One shooting video I recommend from his is why one cop carries 147 rounds of ammunition at one time. I have seen that a long time ago, but I'll have to rewatch it, because I like going back and rewatching videos that I need to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you really cool incident where I didn't think a cop would do something, but he did, to make sure the situation was calm. And this can be applied to any situation involving anyone, not just police officers. If you try to make the person that you're debating or that might be against you in any way, verbally or in a physical altercation, always sitting here trying to calm down the other side will at least ensure the best outcome for the both of you guys. And I think that's a kind of cool lesson to learn from it. So, you just want to be calm as much as you possibly can be, because better things happen when everyone's calm. So yeah, much love from Florida. Well, thank you very much. Can you fill me on what happened? I just covered like a police video and stuff like that. I'm not going to go back over that. If you want to go back in the stream, you can always watch that and then fast forward after you're done. I'm about to go into the Antonio Brown situation now, and then I'll leave it up to the end for any questions or any other topics you guys want to talk about. That you guys want, but we're gonna watch some of the Antonio Brown stuff with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the NFL. There's some drama that's been happening there. Tampa Bay came out with their own statement. I'm gonna be following up on Ian Rappaport's Twitter account, and then a couple of YouTube videos this kind of talks about Antonio Brown leaving the game, and this is just catch up for anybody who doesn't know what's going on. I'm going to show this video so it catches you up. Then I'm going to go over to the Twitter, follow up on some of the statements that Ian Rappaport has been retweeting and sharing, and then I might follow up on some additional reports from Microphone, which is a really good guy who covers all football news and information and stuff like that. Like I said, if you don't think you'd be interested in it, give it a shot and look into it. You don't have to necessarily watch my stream or my videos on it, but like I said, it is something interesting to watch or to view and form your own opinions. Who do you think's right? Who do you think's wrong in the whole situation? And who do you believe and who do you don't? And yada, yada, yada. We'll be looking first on what the hell happened. So here we go. So, right here, this is the coach right down here of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's Antonio Brown walking off the field. So, showing real quick what happened, they were facing the Jets recently. I think it was their last game, and Antonio Brown pretty much just ripped off his jersey. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Just was ripping off his jersey over here to the left. You can see him talking to this Evans, number 13, who's trying to calm him down. And then he was sitting down, and now he's ripping off his jersey, struggling to get it off right there, as you can see. It's like obviously some cell phone footage. He throws the jersey towards the bench, and then he starts to walk down the sideline while looking at the current plays that are happening right here. There's cameras focusing on him from the broadcast, showing it. So a lot of people were confused. He proceeds to take off his shirt and then throw it into the stands, saying that he does not need his shirt at all. And then proceeds to take off his glove, throw that into the stands, like, yep, don't need that. And there's actually some funny TikToks of people talking over what Antonio Brown would be saying in a situation while ripping off shit and throwing it into the stands. It's kind of funny, but there's a lot of memes made about this already. And then he proceeds to walk on the field as a play is finishing up. So the play's still in progress, and he's walking onto the field. Now, he is far away from these opponents and stuff like that, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. But it is something that's happening. He is walking onto the field as a play is happening. And then in the Jets' end zone right here, he ends up doing jumping jacks. And I don't think his intention was to do jumping jacks, but I think his intention was to hype up the crowd, because the crowd started realizing, like, wait, he ripped off his stuff, he's throwing stuff into the crowd, he's walking away. The game's still going on. It's the third quarter of the game. And so the crowd was getting kind of amped up, and their attention was on Antonio Brown, and I think he was kind of like, winding up the crowd and stuff like that. And then obviously he's leaving, and all that. AB did nothing wrong. Well, we're here to talk about it. And he then goes in and leaves. And then number 13 right here, that's facing Brady, as Brady's making the call. Evans here is probably telling the huddle, because he went in the huddle right after Antonio Brown left. And if you don't know, number 13 was the one talking to him to try to get him to calm down. 13 was the last person to speak to him and try to calm him down. And now we know number 13 is in the huddle right after that. So my guess is that Evans probably went up to Brady and the rest of the Buccaneers and was like, "You're not going to believe this, but Antonio Brown just threw his shit. He's done. He left." And he probably warned the huddle. Now, if he didn't, that would make sense, because their focus should be on the game and completing the game, obviously. And whatever happened, they can view and discuss and think and go through that. But telling him right away in the huddle, I don't know what would have been, but you kind of just wonder, do you think Evans would run up and tell the team that's in the huddle and about to snap the ball? And I don't know. Let me look back on how close the score was. The Buccaneers are down 14 points. And I'll show you this right here. Down 14 points. You'd have to think that their focus isn't on one of their players leaving the game. It definitely was a focus after, though. So, yeah, it's just sort of interesting. This was wild when I heard about this, yeah. So, what the hell happened? What happened? Now you're caught up. This happened on football one night. It was broadcast. People were exploding about it, yada, yada, yada. What happened? So there's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of incidents revolving around Antonio Brown. Obviously, the Buccaneers. Brady's always had some drama circulating around. There's always been stuff. There's been fans with different opinions on everything. Some inside scoops and rumors and stuff like that always spread. And then there's something right here, a lengthy statement from Antonio Brown announcing he's having ankle surgery and giving his side on Sunday, because what happened on Sunday Night Football is he took off his jersey and left. So we're going to read real quick on what this has to say, and I'll try to read this as fast as I can, but this will be interesting to break down. First off, I'd like to express my gratitude to the Bucs fans and my teammates. The Bucs helped me return to productive football after I had difficulties that could have ended my career. We have worked together to resolve those difficulties, and I will always appreciate that. Being part of a Super Bowl champion team and then a contender is a dream come true. Just quick thanks. I make mistakes. I'm working on myself, and I have positive influences around me. But one thing I don't do is shy away from playing hard on the field. No one can accuse me of not giving it my all every play. Because of my commitment to the game, I relented to pressure and directly from my coach to play injured. Despite the pain, I suited up. The staff injected me with what I know now is a powerful and sometimes dangerous painkiller that the NFLPA was warned against using. I gave it my all for the team. I played until it was clear that I could not use my ankle to safely perform my playing responsibilities. On top of that, the pain was extreme. I took a seat on the sideline, and my coach came up to me very upset and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him it's my ankle, but he knew that. It was well documented, and we had discussed it. He then ordered me to get onto the field. I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran his finger across his throat. Coach was telling me that if I don't play, then I was done with the Bucs. So, we'll read more into that in just a second. But pretty much this entire situation of Antonio Brown leaving the field, what happened was, according to Antonio Brown, I'm not saying this is factual 100%. We're going to have to read more into this and form our opinions based off any information I can gather real quick. Pretty much what happened was Antonio Brown left the field. According to him, he's had ankle injuries. He's talked to the coach, had discussion. It's been well documented. And they've been giving him some powerful, dangerous painkillers that obviously they know, is dangerous. And it's to the point where he possibly can't even feel if there's something wrong. And he's claiming it's his ankle, and he cannot perform his responsibilities. And so when he tells coach, "I can't, and you should call medical attention," at that point, the coach doesn't do it and say, "If what are you doing? What are you doing?" And pretty much tells him, if you don't play, you got to go, and saying you're done. If you don't go out there, you're done. And then runs his finger across his throat. And Antonio Brown took it that way, and that's his side of things. So, like I said, I'm gonna sit here and read both sides, because I think the Bucs put out a statement. The coach spoke about it, and the coach sat here and said he never knew of any ankle injury and all this other stuff. But we'll keep reading into Antonio Brown's statement here, because he has more information about that. I didn't quit, I was cut. I didn't walk away from my brothers, I was thrown out. Being fired on the sideline for having a painful injury was bad enough. Then came their spin. Coach denied on national television that he knew about my ankle, which he publicly said. The coach said, we never knew about any ankle injury. That's 100% inaccurate. Not only did he know I missed several games with the injury, he and I exchanged texts days before the game where he clearly acknowledged my injury, which we're all curious to see if those texts are true and if that is provided into an investigation, especially with Antonio Brown's lawyer being involved and stuff like that, and then the Buccaneers and the NFL possibly running an investigation on it. If those text messages are true and he knew about the injury, that is lying on national television, and clearly, if you're going to lie, it's probably for a reason to cover something up. Following, he obviously knew I was on the injured list, and the GM acknowledged after the game in text message to my camp that I did tell coach about my ankle pain on Sunday. So on Sunday, the day of the game, he was, warned about it, that he did have ankle injury. I know we were losing to the Jets, and that was frustrating for all of us, but I could not make football plays on that ankle. Yes, I walked off the field, but there's a major difference between launching from the line and taking hits compared to jogging off the field with a rush of emotions going through your mind. I am reflecting on my reaction, but there was a trigger. The trigger was someone telling me that I'm not allowed to feel pain. I acknowledge my past, but my past does not make me a second-class citizen. My past does not forfeit my right to be heard when I'm in pain. So what he's saying here is pretty much he jogged off the field and didn't seem like he had much of a problem. I'll replay the footage here. If he really did have an ankle injury and his ankle really did hurt, then he wouldn't be able to sit here and jog off the field the way he did. He even did some jumping jacks. So a lot of people are against Antonio Brown simply because of this. He's like jumping and moving on an ankle. He's running on an ankle right now. But Antonio Brown brings up that there's a difference between that and running off the line constantly, performing spins and jukes and all this, putting a lot more pressure on an ankle than just simple jumps and jogs, which are done very lightly because these guys are natural athletes. Their body does go through more strain when you're actually on the field playing compared to just doing a light jog getting off the field. So there is a difference there, and I do agree with Antonio Brown that there is a difference there. But if you really were in pain, the reaction that you had obviously did not work out, because there's a lot of people who are reflecting on this saying, well, if you had an ankle injury and your ankle was clearly injured, you shouldn't have been doing this. So again, I understand both sides. And I'm not taking a side, but I will share my opinion on it once we go through all of this. But it is interesting. I don't know where you guys stand. Do you guys think that him running and jogging, like I just showed you, does that disprove that he didn't have any ankle injury? Or do you think he could have had ankle injury? It's just when heavy strain is put on it. Clearly not in an environment for football where your entire body's under heavy strain. Where do you guys are leaning? Are you guys leaning towards Antonio Brown and agreeing with him? Or do you think that you agree with all the other people who are against Antonio Brown, saying, well, you were jogging, you were jumping, you were doing jumping jacks when you left the field. Your ankle's not really hurt. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. I'll keep reading some of this as you guys take some time to respond. First they cut me, now they cage me. Instead of asking how I felt or getting to the bottom of it, the team texted my camp promoting a totally false narrative that I randomly act out without any explanation. They even told us in writing, don't spin this any other way. I have stress, I have things I need to work on. But the worst part of this has been the Bucs' repeated effort to portray this as a random outburst. They are telling people that first I walked off, then I was cut. No, I was cut first and then I went home. They threw me out like an animal and I refused to wear their brand on my body, so I took my jersey off. So that gives a little bit more explanation from Antonio Brown on why he took the jersey off and, his hat and his gloves, or not his hat, but his undershirt and his gloves, which I don't know if that would have had any Tampa Bay on his body, but maybe he just felt like getting shirtless because... I don't know. Frustrated. Maybe sometimes you gotta take off some clothes if you get a little frustrated. But he's sitting here saying that, the Buccaneers, the team and the coaches and stuff like that are saying, well, they're saying that I had this random outburst and then I was cut, when Antonio Brown's saying, no, I got told on the sidelines that I'm done if I don't play. So I was pretty much fired. I was cut. So then I left because you're going to fire me over an injury I have. I mean, you got to take the injury seriously and all this other stuff. Jogging doesn't disprove it, but it did set him up for others to get very suspicious. Kind of wrong move on his end, even if he was right. I think so too, Thunder. So it would make sense that he was not limping without the gear. It would make sense that he wasn't limping because maybe, like I said, I've had injuries before too. There was one point where I think it's, what is it called? There's a joint right up here in your shoulder, and it's a very, very bad injury to have up here. And I had an injury right up here, just a joint right up here on your shoulder, and I was able to move it, but I could not lift anything up. So if I spun my arm around like this, it would be fine. But as soon as I put strain on it, trying to lift up a box or something like that, it would start to hurt so bad. So there are injuries out there, like especially with the ankle. I know many people who go through ankle pains and stuff like that. Sometimes, yes, you can walk, you can run, you can jump, you can do that stuff in a certain way, like Antonio Brown was probably doing. But when you start to put heavy strain on it, it will hurt, and you will make things worse if you continue to do that. So he might have had a very legit injury, and him just walking or running, jogging, and doing jumping jacks like he was doing, hyping up the crowd, was not the right move to do. It did set him up for people to be suspicious about it. I'm not really going to take that into account because, like I said, if it is just heavy strain type of stuff, but again, there's a lot of people requesting MRIs and X-rays of the ankle and for a doctor's opinion on the matter if there's an actual injury, and hopefully he did get that check out and he got some sort of validation and proof that there is something wrong with his ankle, because if there was something wrong with his ankle and he was forced to play and those things were said and the coach knew about it, I mean, that is a bad setup for the head coach and the Buccaneers team as a whole. Then again, it was the heat of the moment, so I digress. He probably jogged through the pain. Right, it could have been. So, yeah. We'll continue reading more into this. As part of their ongoing cover-up, they act like I wasn't cut and now demanding that I see a doctor of their choice to examine my ankle. What they did not know until now is that on Monday morning, I had an urgent MRI on my ankle. It shows broken fragments stuck in my ankle, the ligament torn from the bone, and cartilage loss, which are beyond painful. You can see the bone bulging from the outside, but that must and can be repaired. The MRI has been read by 2 top orthopedic surgeons in NYC, New York City, including Dr. Martin O'Malley at Hospital for Special Surgery, not realizing that I had already scheduled a surgery at HSS. The Bucs ordered me under penalty of discipline and with a few hours notice to show up to a more junior doctor at HSS for another opinion. What a joke. They're playing like I wasn't cut, giving me a surprise attack order to show up to another doctor with no responsible notice, a reasonable notice, and setting this whole thing up as a basis to cut me because they did on Sunday was not legitimate. Sorry, GM. I already received a confirmation opinion from the top doc at the hospital you ordered me to go. So this is interesting too. And I want your guys' opinions real quick on this. So they're claiming that he's cut from the team, that he's no longer a Buck. Okay, he's done. But then they order him to go see a doctor of the doctor of their choice. If he's not a Buck, then just have him go see whatever doctor he wants. So again, this is more suspicion that's set up towards the Bucs. And again, there are some points being brought up. Is there a chance that this is all lies and bullshit and a way to spin to get people to side with Antonio Brown? Possible. Again, we're not really seeing. We're getting both sides of the story. We're reading into it, but it is interesting that so regardless if he was cut before he left the field or after, if he was still cut, why is he being ordered from the team that just cut him to go and see a doctor of their choice? I mean, if he's cut, he's not your responsibility to take care of. He'll go get his own doctor. And he has plenty of money to go see his own doctor and get his own opinion, which he said he went to. So what do you guys think of that? So the Bucs cut him, but they're still ordering him to go do a doctor. They're still taking care of him as if he's still one of their players. I don't know. I mean, maybe the Bucs are in position where they should recommend a doctor for him to go see. But like he said, he's wording it like they ordered him to, as if he's the Bucs. It's like being fired for a broken arm and then tell you to see their doctor. Exactly. It's like you break an ankle or something like that. Like if you broke an ankle on the job or something like that, and it was the job's fault, whatever. But it's like you broke an ankle or whatever, and then the police fires you. And then when they find out about the ankle injury, they're like, oh, you should see our doctor, even though you don't work with us anymore. Like, how does that work? Like that's a little suspicious on whoever the hiring and firing is coming from. I mean, that's kind of suspicious from the employer or from the Bucs in this scenario, which is kind of interesting. Moving on. I love the Bucks fans. I really do. I love my teammates and everyone who showed me grace and believed in me. I gave the Bucks everything I had on the field, what the organization is doing, and now needs to get cleaned up. I do not understand how people publicly claiming to be concerned about my mental health can do these things to me in private. Once my surgery is complete, I'll be back 100% and looking forward to next season. Business is going to be booming. So that's the statement from Antonio Brown talking about this. On his ankle, it shows the broken fragments, and he sits here and is, obviously retweeting these statements and such for whatever he needs to. Honestly, the Bucks are just salty that they're from their lose streak. That's not an excuse, though. Bucks are covering before lawsuit. It's ludicrous. Yeah, again, it's very interesting. There is more to look into. So again, we're not just gonna look at Antonio Brown's side. There is more right here. Here's Antonio Brown's lawyer, I believe. Antonio Brown never faked an injury in his life. It is incredible that people are pushing false rumors that happened on Sunday was the result of mental health issues and not a well-known ankle injury. Mental health is important, but so is basic dignity. So he's saying, obviously people are like, oh, he's faking it. He's clearly jogging and jumping on it. His ankle must not be in that much pain, and that could be a response to that. He then continues to say, why would they embark on a campaign of false concealment to avoid responsibility for ignoring the risk of a serious injury from the sake of winning a game? Antonio has reflected on this for days and prepared a heartfelt statement that he will release soon, which we just saw. Continuing, his lawyer sits here and says, I believe this is Antonio Brown's lawyer, like I said above, his injury can clearly be seen on the MRI image taken Monday morning. Among other things, you can plainly see a piece of loose bone from the outside that is pressing into his ankle joint and ligament snapped clean off the bone. He will recover but needs surgery. So again, this is bad. And again, a lot of people go through this where if you don't sit here and take those injuries seriously, if you think there's something wrong, go get yourself checked out. Really, go do it, because you could be making something worse and have to be set up for injury. I mean, he could have had an ankle injury that could have been recovered really quick if it was done. But again, if he was feeling pressured just to take painkillers and seeing a doctor of the Bucks choice that could, there's some shady doctors out there that will do stuff in favor of the team rather than do it. I'm sorry, but there are shady people out there. Maybe this is what's going on, where the Bucks are trying to press him to keep playing because they want to win. So they're going to, kind of press those great players to continue playing and just pop them some very dangerous painkillers and medication that could affect mental health. And now Antonio Brown, if he did have mental health problems, this could be an effective mental health problems as well. But I don't think it was so irrational the way he responded on the internet, and I think the way he left the game, he didn't need to make a scene out of it like he did. I think that reaction was a little out of line, but it wasn't out of line to the point where he distracted from the game. He took away from it. He did a slight distraction of the people who were broadcasting the game and the fans there, but then made an uproar on the internet about it, which I think is bringing important attention to it, because I think this entire thing should be looked at closer. Didn't he take some painkillers? I might have misheard. He did take painkillers, but he said that he was forced to take those painkillers from the Bucks. The medical staff or the coach or whoever who forced him to do that. We just read this one, 4 out of 6. We all know that the NFL does not condone the ordering of players in pain or at the risk of serious injury due to play. Moreover, the injury and location of the visible bone fragment prevented Antonio Brown from being able to make the type of football moves that he is famous for. Imagine yourself trying to avoid a linebacker homing in for a big hit and not being able to cut in time to avoid the hit and keep running. A team cannot and should never put a player at such risk. Conceal such conduct by writing him off as erratic is unlawful. After the Bucks pushed our camp to claim that they did nothing wrong and suggested that we should say this event was purely the product of mental illness, now they're subjecting him to behind-the-scenes arbitrary gamesmanship. They cut him, now they cage him. So again, there's a lot here. One of the top comments here saying, can you clarify for me if he has such a severe ankle injury, how was he able to jog and jump in the end zone off the field? He wasn't favoring his ankle and seems perfectly normal. So again, there's a lot of this stuff that is going on where people are like, wait, he was jumping on the field and he was jogging and stuff like that, which again, like I said before, again, if he was on a lot of pain medicine at the time, he could not be feeling anything right now. And then you can actually look in the game on how he was performing in the first 3 quarters, because this was right at the end of the 3rd quarter where this took place. You can see how he's performing in the game. Let me find that real quick. Also, by the way, there's a couple other things for him to receive bonuses and stuff like that. He needed 8 more catches to unlock another $300,000, 55 more receiving yards, and 1 more receiving touchdown. Then he would have got a lot of these incentives and stuff like that if he performed that and such. This is him highlighted right here. You can see the highlighted part right up here. This is him playing during the game. This is how he ran. He seemed to be running pretty fine. And again, all this is going to be taken in an investigation, being like, how are you able to perform like that, doing that? And if Antonio Brown is speaking truthfully, and he was on pain medication or painkillers where he wasn't really feeling that, he seemed to be running pretty normal. Being able to try to make cuts and moves and stopping instantly and then proceeding to run and be tackled, jumping up right away. So again, it's very hard to sit here and do it. Also, he released a new rap song apparently immediately after the Buccaneers released him. So again, it's very interesting. But I don't know. Would painkillers be able to make a player perform this way? I don't know. I don't know any of this information. If it was able to make him perform very well, and he was performing very well, there is a possibility there is something wrong. Like I said, if they release that he was under pain and there was clearly something wrong, and they released the MRI and everything else and the x-ray, if they end up releasing that, it kind of settles, okay, he did have an injury, okay, and he was able to play on that somehow through painkillers or whatever. Then it brings up the question of text messages and proof and evidence that the coach or anybody else was trying to force him to play, because there is a chance where he could be lying and he just continued to play without telling anybody. And the coach is maybe telling the truth, saying, we never knew about any ankle injury. He didn't tell us. So, but like I said, there's a lot of people saying you were well aware of it. He was out for several games and he returned premature, I assume, and that's why he was continuing to have this ankle injury. So again, why he kept playing and all this other stuff, I have no idea. Why he returned, I don't know. There's not a lot of that I saw. But I will end up showing a statement from the Buccaneers. Hopefully truthful evidence, yes. There's more up here that I want to be able to show revolving around that. That Ian Rappaport did a really good job on sharing right here. Right here is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers official statement on all of this. And we're going to sit here and read it. Buccaneers statement on the release of Antonio Brown. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have terminated the contract of Antonio Brown, effective immediately. While Antonio did receive treatment on his ankle and was listed on the injury report the week leading up to last Sunday's game, he was cleared to play by our medical team prior to the start of the game. And at no point during the game he indicate to our medical personnel that he could not play. We have attempted multiple times throughout this week to schedule an evaluation by an outside orthopedic specialist, yet Antonio has not complied. Maintaining the health and wellness of our players is the utmost importance of our organization. So, and then there's a lot of people right here who are talking about it. AB owns you. He is definitely going to a divisional rival team. Seems like the top guy to do that. Right here, for all you siding with Antonio Brown. So Antonio Brown has an ankle so bad that he has an urgent MRI, and yet he squeezed that foot into those pointy designer shoes with no problem. Went to a Nets game the next night and had dinner with his rapper buddy. and there's Antonio Brown in some really nice shoes that he slipped into. So again, there's a huge split. I wasn't expecting such a huge split between, like, you know, Antonio Brown and everyone, like, wanting to support him and the statements he put out, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and stuff like that. Tom Brady came on to make a statement about it too, which I'd love to show you guys what Tom Brady said about that. Right here, here's a couple things that the coach said right here, and shout out to John Boy Media, who uploaded this video where he shows the coach and the statements released and stuff like that. Conflicting reports about there was an ankle injury, there wasn't, and yada, 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 them knowing, them not knowing.
That he was healthy. He had been battling an ankle injury for the last several weeks.
But he wouldn't go in the game because he was injured, and now he's no longer part of the team. Can you fire a player if he won't go because he's injured?
I don't know that he was.
Did he say that he was, or was there a dispute about that?
No.
What he told the staff, from what I understand, is that he was not going into the game because in his mind, he did not feel he was healthy.
He just refused to go in, or can you tell us more about it?
Not really. I mean, what happened is pretty obvious what happened. So, you know, he left the field, and that was it.
The response then from the offensive coaches and from Bruce Arians was, if you are not going to go into the game when we tell you to go into the game, then you cannot be here. At that point, they threw him off the sidelines and then cut him from the team.
The conversation you had with Antonio Brown was not one regarding his ankle injury.
No.
So two completely different stories saying the exact opposite thing. One says it was because of injury. The other is like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So again, yeah, there's just two different, and the person on the right side, the older guy, being the head coach of the Buccaneers, and then, you know, saying that I had no idea. He never told us at all. And, you know, it's pretty obvious, you know. He never said anything about an ankle injury. And then the Buccaneers put out that their medical team ran a check and he was fine, and they tried to set him up for an appointment and all that throughout the week. And he said he could do it. While the other side is saying, no, we told you we couldn't. And you provided painkillers. And, you said right on the sideline, if you don't, I'm done. I was threatened to be cut from the Buccaneers if I did not play, so I just left. I went home. So again, it's going to be very interesting and see if there's any lawsuits or investigations that get brought up about this. I want to follow up on more information about this, because I always find it fascinating when you're always tuning into football games and you think it's going to be a pretty cut and dry, just a regular football game. It's not going to be that interesting, even though I find them interesting. I know some general consensus about football games, but outside of the football community is that it's kind of boring. You're just watching football. But there is some drama that's sparking up at this, and I do think it's interesting on how people feel. Like I said, once there is evidence that comes out about this, everyone will be able to make a lot more clearer of an opinion based off the evidence. Right now, the Buccaneers ain't really providing anything besides a statement. Antonio Brown and his lawyers not providing anything else besides a statement. So when there's something more provided besides just statements and responses, then there'd be a better cut and dry. I don't know. I'm on the fence here. There are some people on the fence. The Autumn links. Let me know, guys, right now in the chat, to the 20 people who are here. If you're watching, let me know, what side are you on? Are you Antonio Brown? Are you AB? Are you the Buccaneers? Tampa Bay? Head coach and Tom Brady and all of them? Or Antonio Brown? Like what side are you leaning on? Who do you think's being truthful in this situation? Who do you think's, who's at fault here? Let me know what you guys think. Potential court case? I mean, it might be. It might be. It very well might be. It's my girlfriend in chat. I'm confused. There is information that isn't been said. There's been a lot of information that does need to be said. I'm on my own side. I have no sense. See, that's a lot of people. Like, if we go to the Twitter replies, there are a lot of Twitter replies, like, going back and forth on all of this. Putting on slip-on boots is apparently hard, especially after tremble shots. Okay, so a direct response to that. So it took the Bucs 4 days before releasing a statement. Something not adding up. I'm on AB on this one. Someone help me with essay. I will pay. Just a random comment. Bro, I will literally pay someone to write this essay for me. The same medical staff that made Godwin run on the sidelines after tearing his ligament, ? You can still do small things after an ACL tear. That's what I had in my shoulder. I had an ACL tear in my shoulder and stuff like that. Kobe and Clay shot free throws after tearing theirs. So again, I don't know. There's a lot of people going to support on Antonio Brown, justifying and bringing up good reasons. That's how they will justify, okay, your ankle hurts, but the fake vax card stuff still killed your chances of being in the NFL. I personally think somebody at Tampa Bay knew about it but never said anything. So again, I don't know, it's very fishy. They're claiming that they have the text messages and proof and MRI and they checked it out and all this other stuff. Again, if they just release this information, release the information, Antonio Brown, the lawyer. Save it for the court case. Have the court case end up, in ruling in favor of Antonio Brown. Have the NFL, possibly fine the Buccaneers and stuff like that to be able to take responsibility and discipline the Buccaneers for what they did, whether it's the head coach directly involved or it's the medical staff on the Buccaneers. But it's just really interesting on how all this is adding up. I can't tell who I'm siding with, really, since the Bucs didn't provide the evidence. Unless both sides are saving this evidence for a potential court case, then I can't really tell. There's a huge chance that the Bucs could be innocent in this and they're just out to try to win and stuff like that, and maybe they were very unaware of it. But I'm gonna probably end up me personally, with how both statements are set up and all that, I'm gonna say if Antonio Brown has evidence and an MRI and all this other evidence and that is released and shown, or some sort of proof, or it's brought up in some sort of court case. Obviously, Antonio Brown's in the right in the situation, even though his reaction leaving the game was not the best. He's still right in the situation. But if he's not able to provide any of that, then I'm not going to try to sit here and just accuse the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of any of this. So I'm going to say, for right now, being neutral would be the best part, but I don't blame anyone who wants to side with the Buccaneers right away, because you can trust the organization better than a single player, or if you want to trust a single player because you feel like there might be potentially anybody in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that screwed up their job, and that's how all this caused. Someone in the organization of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers knew this information, but they probably didn't do their job in instructing who needed to know. Maybe the head coach telling the truth and said, I never knew about any ankle injury, but then Antonio Brown would be a liar saying that he messaged the coach about it, and the coach brought up information that insinuated that he knew about my injury. So one side's lying. I'm sorry, but one of the sides are lying. Antonio Brown or the head coach of the Buccaneers. One side is lying. Who do you guys think is lying? Antonio Brown said clearly in a statement, the coach clearly knew about it. I messaged him, and he said things to insinuate he knew about my injury. Do you think Antonio Brown's lying about that, or do you think the coach is lying, saying he didn't know about the injury at all? I don't know. It's not the first time a head coach has lied, and it's also not the first time an NFL player has lied. So it literally could be anyone. I have no idea. I'm not going to side with anyone because due to lack of info. I get that. Antonio is sus, votes him out. AB faked injury because scoreboard didn't go up. I don't know. Among Us joke. Both could lie. There's a very good chance that both of them could be lying about the situation. But again, I don't know. I guess we gotta wait for more info to come out. I'm glad I covered that, because if there's any more information that comes out, I'd like to make a follow-up video talking and discussing about that. I might clip this and upload it as its own video, cut down, just so I can release it as a separate video to see if anybody would be interested in watching something like that, because I think that would be interesting. I feel like the coach is lying, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm more used to seeing coaches lie about certain situations or fuck up in a lot of situations because their goal is to win. Players can have a really good season regardless of the outcome, if they win or not. So it's more, but the coach kind of suffers more and more from a loss than an individual player does, I think, because their goal is to win the game, while the players can have goals to just reach a certain amount of yards or break records or to perform very well during a game regardless of a win or lose outcome. So I think the coach, I'm not saying this is all just to try to win a game or trying to blame the coach, but I think I've witnessed more coaches having more excuse or more of a drive to lie or to perform actions they shouldn't have to try to perform better in a game. So the coach, I think, has a really good chance of being at fault in this situation. But again, I do not know for sure. So yeah. Regardless, I will leave it up to you, the 20 people who are in here, anybody who wants to sit here and talk about any other topics before I hop off, but I wanted to share that. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to share. I think I was going to share a little bit of information from Microphone's video, but I'm not going to do that because I think we talked about it pretty well. Is there any other questions, any other topics you guys would like me to discuss before this live stream comes to a close? Any topic of your choice, I'll try to be able to sit here and do and talk about it to the best of my ability, and I'll be able to do that. Is there any past allegations on the player? On Antonio Brown, yeah, there's been a lot of problems with Antonio Brown. But like he said, he's had his problems in the past. He admitted it in his statement because he probably knew people were going to jump at him because of his previous issues. Do I know them? No, I have not really looked into them. I'm kind of judging the situation, just walking into it. I'm sure the coach has had some problems too. I think this coach used to coach the Cardinals at one point. So, again, it's a lot of conflicting stuff of their past that people are going to look into as well. I'm not the guy for you to listen to if you want to know more about their past. I'm sure other people have made videos about their past, and you could look more into that and do some more research. And I'll try to do that if I ever make a follow-up to learn more about the coach's past and Antonio Brown's past. I know a lot about Tom Brady's past, but not Antonio Brown so much. But there has been quite a bit of controversy and problems about Antonio Brown before in the past, and people are starting to bring that up a lot on Twitter as well. What the coach said makes him the villain. Only time will tell if he's to be a forgiven one or not. Did you hear about the 4-year-old that got shot at New Year's? She survived. Don't know about the full details, so I can't really say anything else. I did not hear about that, but that's interesting. I'm curious. Kind of devastating to hear as well, but I'm kind of intrigued to go check that out. Damn, that sucks if that happened. I have a question. How was the new year starting off so far? Christmas with my family and stuff like that. I mean, the best decision I made coming into the new year was not feeling obligated to do YouTube. If you look at my channel a long time ago, not even a long time ago, you look at it a year ago, my channel, I've taken time away from birthdays and holidays and precious time that I could spend with family to create content, regardless if I was making money, regardless if I had an audience. And last year, when I started to build up an audience near the holidays, I literally on vacation was live streaming and making videos because of the whole Mini Lad situation that was going on. I think Mini Lad just put out his apology near Christmas. And I spent so much of my New Year's time where I normally go to visit family to just focus on content. So I think the best decision I ever made for this New Year's is I decided I'm not going to worry about anything that appears online. I'm going to take time off and I'm going to focus on family and do the best I can to just get away from YouTube for a little bit. Will I struggle a little bit financially? Sure. Will I suffer in loss of views and the drive and the momentum that I had? Sure. But family, mattered more this year to me. And hey, I don't know, maybe later this year of 2022, I will spend more time on content instead of family, but every year I just want to. I always have a growing family and a growing friendship with a lot of people, and I think as time goes on, I'm gonna want to take more and more time towards that. I just had a lot to do near New Year's and Christmas, and I apologize for not bringing out any content during that time. But like I said, I just wanted to focus on family and stuff like that, and I still got more stuff this month to go do with family and friends. So I'm not necessarily done, but I got the bulk of it out of the way now, and this live stream is kind of signaling, hey, I'm coming back. I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff. If I lost most of my subscribers and viewership, fine. I don't care. I'm still here to do what I did originally, and I have plans and ideas I want to pursue in. Regardless of what is going on, I will do my best to always try to do this, unless I end up saying anything else about that. But I did want to say, yeah, it's just what was the original question? Let me find that. How was your New Year starting off so far? So on YouTube, it's been a little downhill because, you know, January, the CPM's lower, so naturally you're going to get less ad revenue on your videos. So I'm not really focusing on my statistics or my ad revenue at all. I'm just worrying about uploading a lot and talking about a lot of different subjects. I want to be able to broaden the subjects that are here on the channel. I want to be able to talk about a wide scope of things. So as you guys tell me things to talk about in the chats, for example, Thunder brought up that horrible thing about that 4-year-old, what happened to that 4-year-old and stuff like that. I'm always curious on talking about more stuff that you guys would be interested in. I was always worried about capturing an audience that I didn't have. So the audience I do have, I'm going to try to start diving more into what my audience wants, the audience that I do have. And me trying to catch audiences I don't have is going to be kind of on the back burner. Will I still try to do that? Of course, you always kind of want to clickbaity stuff and get new people to your channel, and I want to grow this community. But at the same time, if I go throughout this entire year only having 30 viewers per live stream, I'm not going to complain. I'll still be just as grateful as as I was when I had 8,000 viewers a live stream. You know, I'll always be grateful for that. Thank you for the question, though, Ricky. New Year for me is 50-50. It's me, the best decision, hair flipping now. Oh, yeah, I forgot my birthday was on the 28th last month, LOL. You forgot about your own birthday? Dang. Well, happy late birthday. Hey, I remember you told me that you get the money for the super chats this year. If you got them, then you still have to buy yourself a new decoration for your room with the money I gave you. Yes, I will. I promise you. There'll be something I bought, Thunder, and I'll be like, yep, this is exactly with the money, and stuff like that. I'll have to do that for sure, Thunder. Have fun with the family. Don't worry about it. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Glad to hear it. Now worries. We hope that you're taking the time to take a break, because I couldn't imagine how it could be on the mental. I've never complained about any mental state, and I don't ever want to, and that's going to be something that you'll never have to hear from me. I might bring up that I was in a bad mental state, or I am currently in a bad mental state, but I'm never using that as an excuse to stop doing content, or not being able to respond, or not being able to do this. For me, mental health is been quite different on how a lot of other people have had mental health affect them. For me, my mental health doesn't really affect my actions as much, I don't think, because I still believe I can perform the same actions and do the same content regardless if my mental state is in a good spot or a bad spot. I'm not worried about my mental health being impacted. I know that sounds shitty to say, and I should focus on my mental health, but I've always been fine. I've always been able to fight through that, and I don't ever want to have my mental health be brought up for any excuse for any of my actions. What I do and my actions that I perform and the responsibilities I do, it's all on me. I'm responsible for everything. I'm not going to throw it to a part of me, like my mental health or my living situation or my financial situation, and this is why I acted out, or this is why I didn't upload content, or this is why I made this mistake. I don't ever want to do that. What I did is severely my fault. I made the decision at the time, whether it was a good or bad decision. That was my decision. I just, mental health for me, I don't ever like to have that in a conversation when I'm explaining something that I'm doing or I've been through or something like that. I will bring it probably up at one point, talking about past situations and where my mental health state was at, but it would only be to, you know, explain how I was feeling, not necessarily my actions, because whatever actions I performed in the past, that's on me, not my mental health. And I don't care where my mental health was. If it was good or bad, you shouldn't have done the actions you did. And that's just my take on that. So again, I'm not too worried about mental health. If you're asking how my mental health's doing right now, it's good. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to have the audience that I have. I'm happy to still be making content, have the freedom to speak out what I believe in, what my opinions is, stay true to my morals. I'm happy to be alive. My mental health is doing good. Well, when you're down, I need some more live streams. Because my life is boring. I'll have to do more live streams for sure. I'm going to be uploading little clips from this as well. And I want to get into doing some more commentary videos as well. So hopefully I can start pumping some of those out. Anyways, going to Discord, I'm leaving even though I'm right across from you. Thank you, Hannah. Understandable and respectful. Thanks for responding. Yeah, no problem. Mental health can't be used as an excuse anymore. I heard it too much last year. Yeah, like some of the situations I covered. I'll bring up the mini lad thing. 'Cause the mini lad thing. Mini lad said that he was in a bad space, you know, mentally and all that stuff, and it led to a lot of bad actions and stuff like that. I think he might have brought up something similar, saying he wasn't trying to use mental health as an excuse. But when you're bringing it up like in an apology or something like that, you know, it's kind of not needed, and just taking responsibility for the actions and stuff like that. I do have my response video coming up where I'm going to be talking about my past actions, but none of it's going to be because of a bad mental health space or anything like that. Have I had bad mental health spaces during some previous situations with ex-staff members and things that I've said? Yes, of course. I might have had some ups and downs with my mental health, but I'm not going to bring that up as an excuse at all, because, again, like I said, your actions are your actions. Can mental health play a part in it? Yeah, for sure. I mean, people can act out because of mental health. I don't think I'm one of those people who do that. I don't think I'm subject to, you know, whatever my mental state is. I think I'm, you know, strong enough to be able to sit here and make that distinction, or I don't know the right word, but I just believe I'm separate from whatever my mental state is. Whatever my mental state is, however I'm feeling and stuff like that, that's separate from my actions. Can one influence the other? Yeah, for sure. But I will never say, oh, because of my mental health, I made this decision and that's why I did it. No, I made that decision. That was the decision I made at the time. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, disgusting, terrible, whatever, those were my actions, and I'm taking responsibility for that. And my mental health maybe was this, but I don't correlate that it had anything to do with that. It was just a bad decision I made at the time. And that's just kind of how I feel about the whole thing. Not alluding to anything, and I'm not saying, like, that's going to be... I'm going to be saying that line in the response, my response video about the recent drama going on. But when I do end up making that video, I'm just letting you know, you won't see that, because, again, it's just not my view on it. I just feel like mental health and my decisions are separate. That ain't the case for everyone, though, and I understand. You better make a piano lesson live stream, TJ. I do know a couple songs. At one point, I'd like to start playing and doing something. I would have to set up the piano with the computer somehow, so you're just not hearing the audio through the microphone. So yeah, don't just blame mental health. Is their fault as well. Don't just blame mental health. Is their fault as well. I don't know exactly what you're saying, but thank you for commenting that, though. Is there any other topics that you guys want to talk about besides, like, mental health and New Year, all this other stuff? Is there any other topics you want to bring up? Any other questions? Anything else before I hop off? I will let you guys know that tomorrow, if I end up clipping stuff from the stream, I will re-upload that just in smaller segments, so people can digest smaller clips and stuff like that. Some people can't tune in these live streams late, and I'm live streaming a lot later in the day where people are busy, and it's on a Thursday, so I will be making clips for those who weren't able to make it and stuff like that. But is there anything else? I do plan on live streaming again sometime this week, maybe Saturday or Sunday. Sunday there's Packers games, so probably not Sunday. If not, it will be next week, and my response video hopefully will be out next week as well. Yeah. See, about mental health, what would it make a difference if it was clinically diagnosed, if they were actually tests for a mental health issue and it was a medical diagnosis? It depends on what you're talking about, Thunder. If you're talking about would it make a difference in, like, decision making and stuff like that, it all depends on what the mental health diagnosis is and what it was clinically diagnosed as, and if that, you know, that meant that form of mental health problem and that diagnosis, the problem they have, if it correlates to bad decision making and stuff like that, then yes, you could obviously sit here and say I had this, but you also got to take into account, where did that come from, and how do you have those mental health problems? A lot of mental health problems come from experiences in life, decisions that were made either by you or someone who was looking over you or someone who had an influence in your life or something like that. So again, it's a long stretch to go down and to research and ask questions and figure out the full story. Would it make a difference? Yeah, very well. There's a chance, but at the same time, there might be some situations where, yeah, you can be diagnosed with some mental health problems, but it's still your fault. And sometimes blaming mental health just because you were diagnosed with it doesn't make it right, and it doesn't excuse the actions. So, but sometimes it very well can. There's court cases where the person was the being accused and everything like that for whatever action was being done. Sometimes it does end in, okay, this person had a mental health problem. They're going to be, treated for that, and then they're good to go, But in some cases, it's not excusable. Again, it all depends. And I think that's the biggest thing is that the more open people are to talk about it, and the more people are open to understand it and try to make the best judgment and come together to be able to make those decisions, overall, I think we can all have a pretty good take on mental health, regardless if we have different opinions on it. We can all have a good take that is similar to each other, and we can all come to an agreement that we just all hope everybody's mental health problems are resolved and being treated, and not just left on the back burner, because it can lead to bad things, and that you're just taking care of it and you're on the right track. Discussing whether or not it being diagnosed for it or whatever, is kind of two different things. And I don't know. It's just something to, think about and talk about more. But I don't know. Again, it's kind of interesting. I would like to have a more in-depth, time to research more about mental health and stuff like that, and have more knowledge about it. I can only speak upon people that are in my life who've had mental health problems, and the knowledge I've gained from that, and then my own mental health problems. But like I said, I don't really have many, and I don't think I have any severe mental health problems at all. I just, like I said before, I don't like to bring up my own mental health because I don't think it's excusable and for any of my actions, and I don't think mental health plays as big of a part in my life as it does for other people. I think I'm pretty separate from my own mental health. I'm not saying I don't have any mental health problems, and I'm not saying I do have a ton of mental health problems. I'm just saying I'm pretty separate from it, and I'm able to not bring it up a lot, and it's for a reason. I just don't ever want to be accused of using it as an excuse, and I just, like I said, my mental health doesn't really change much in situations like it does for other people. So yeah. Anything you have in mind? I kind of wanted to talk about more NFL stuff, but I don't really have an audience for NFL stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have much else to talk about, so I might end up ending the stream here. We should remember that this situation with Antonio Brown is most likely happening all because of Vontae's perfect. Is that person who hit him insanely hard and got fined? Q, is that it? Can you clarify? Is that person who just hit him real hard in the head and got fined for it and got criticized? Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, yes, I remember that. So that is something too. I mean, he got a severe bad concussion from that. I'm going to have to show that the next time we talk about the situation, when more information comes out about Antonio Brown, the Bucs situation. 3-game suspension, yeah. So, is it I'm going to call him Vontae's because that's just easier to pronounce for me. Vontae's, Burt Fick, I think that's how you say it, pretty much hit him insanely hard. And this guy is notorious for being fined for just, unsportsmanlike conduct and overly just smashing into people. It is bad. This guy is a dirty player in the NFL, and he's been called that a lot. There's videos made about him and stuff like that, and I think it's interesting. So yeah, wow. His last game, he was ejected for hitting a tight end in the head, and for the first time in NFL history. Oh, shit. Yeah, again, I'm going to have to look into that a lot more. Man, I come from a place where we diss on NFL because it's called American football, but 90% of the time, the ball is being held in hands. I wouldn't be a part of this said audience. Yeah. He was suspended for the rest of the season. Dang. Yeah, it's just a lot. Because I remember that now. Yeah, Antonio Brown was one of the people who got hit by Vontaze. Yeah, that is great. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's kind of where we've seen Antonio's Brown career kind of shift. From being very steady to being rapidly up and down. You know, being part of the Bucks obviously went up, but that hit, you know, did have a big effect on his career. I didn't even think about that, Q. Thank you so much for coming in here and reminding me of that, because I remember seeing that on I think there was this news coverage about Antonio Brown a while ago that I saw, and I was like, oh, Antonio Brown, I should remember that name. And then something like this happens, and I'm talking about Antonio Brown. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I really appreciate that, Q. I could never be a football player. LOL, that shit too scary for me. I just got in. Yeah, I talk about the entire situation here, Q. You're probably already updated maybe on the Antonio Brown recent situation with him leaving the field, and the Bucks put out a statement. Antonio Brown put out a statement. His lawyer put out a statement. I'm going to upload, I want to upload clips tomorrow about this that are shortened up, so if you want to watch those, Q, or if you want to go back to the live stream. But yeah, I didn't even think about the Vontaze thing. That is so... I should have mentioned something about that earlier in the stream. But yeah, I do want to go on record. I did know about that. I just completely forgot about that. But that's something that happened to Antonio Brown a while ago too, and it was kind of known as a turning point in Antonio Brown's career, which it will be, you know, until the time he retires. That moment will always be. And I was like, wait, TJV is covering Antonio Brown situation from Vanos to NFL? Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, I kind of want to cover more broad of subjects. You're going to see the viewer count up here dip because I do the wide more coverage on it. But if I upload a video tomorrow talking about the mini lad situation or the Omrecker situation, the Villiers situation, you can see the number, like you'll see that go up a lot higher than 20 or 30. But I kind of like to cover the broad stuff, you know. I'm going to bounce, almost 3:30 a.m. I'll catch you later, TJV. Deuces Thunder, thank you for all the hard work you do in the Discord, by the way. I have a lot of staff members coming to me and letting me know that you're doing a really good job. So thank you, Thunder. Hopefully you have a good night's sleep. Don't forget Polecat. I don't know why I'm still here because I'm supposed to be asleep. It's all right. I'll let everyone sleep. I'll go to bed, so I'm not keeping anybody up. I will check out that though. But yeah, I'm not complaining. All right, great. I like to cover abroad, and I'll try to do something where I can explain to you guys the situation from what I know and share my opinion on it. There's just a lot of things I want to cover. I kind of want to get into some like Marvel nerdy stuff. I want to still cover the YouTube drama when I can. NFL stuff, I'd love to. I'd like to talk to you guys about football games and stuff like that I really enjoyed, and what I find, you know, like just crazy special and just life performing like big scale games that I just think that are done very well, and the games that I think that are done terribly, and show you guys highlights. Like I want to be able to do a lot of different stuff. I know if I just honed on one thing, I'd get really good at it and I'd build community off of it. But if you do more of a wide scope of things, it's like doing gaming and then vlogs and then commentary and then reactions, and then it's like if you keep jumping genres, you're gonna get so many different people and it's gonna build even slower. But if you focus just on gaming, you might grow a little bit faster. Just commentary, you might focus on faster. I kind of view it as I'll commentate on all things that I can, like a general news sort of thing, you know. It's just general, and it's not necessarily news, but I just go over news and share my opinion on it. So I don't know, I'm cool with football just as long as I hear your voice. That's a little creepy, but thank you, I guess. I'm gonna head out. Have a good one. Y'all be safe. Yup, see ya. Q said, the way AB left the field though, did you watch that, TJV? Yeah, it's all in this live stream. Again, Q, if you want to go back and watch this live stream, feel free to go back and watch the parts where we're watching. I kind of laugh at the fact that he's you know, jump in, get the crowd all excited. I mean, yeah, I'll upload a shorter clip of cutting it up, and I'll include all that in the clip tomorrow. So if you don't want to rewatch the live stream, but you can. But yeah, I'm gonna head out, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the live stream, Q and everybody else. Tank Eyes, Ricky, Autumn, Links. Yeah, everybody, thank you so much. All my staff members who were involved, Neon who popped in real quick, and all that. Oh, well, I guess I was pretty late for 99 minutes. But yeah, I will see you guys all next time. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you're watching it either now, during the live stream, or afterwards. And then comment down below what you guys think about the situations, everything that I showed in the live stream. Look out for the clips tomorrow, obviously. And I'll probably live stream on Saturday. If not Saturday, it'll be probably sometime next week. Go Packers, #1 team in the NFL. Woohoo, Packers fan here. And I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.